The Locked On Podcast Network presents the NFL Big 3 in 30. The three biggest stories in the NFL from our local experts at the Locked On Podcast Network. We bring you the real story, why it matters, what's next, who wins the big game, and more, all in 30 minutes. The NFL Big 3 in 30 starts now with the biggest story in the NFL.
Miami Dolphins running back De'Von Achane has secured the bag.
You are Locked On Dolphins, your daily Miami Dolphins podcast.
De'Von Achane got the bag last night on a 4-year contract extension that he and the Dolphins agreed to terms on that makes him one of the league's highest paid running backs. And of course, you have to play the game within the game. When these contracts get announced, there's all kinds of technicalities and loopholes for what you report to make it sound as sexy as possible to grab the headline, right? That's part of the deal with NFL contract reporting. And we've already kind of seen some cracks as far as the base value of this contract versus the maximum value of this contract. Where are the talking points that put this as a win for Achane and his camp? And he's represented by Rock Nation. Where are the talking points that have this as a win for the Dolphins? This contract came out last night, and I gave it a little bit of time before doing the show. I did the YouTube short immediately after the news dropped, and I know everybody was like, oh, Kyle, hop on an emergency podcast. But wanted to give it a little bit of space to kind of collect my thoughts, collect the numbers, and sort through some of the noise. Let's start first and foremost with this. The Dolphins put their money where their mouth is. This is just the latest example of executive John Eric Sullivan telling us at the forefront of this offseason what they were going to do. And they have followed through on just about every talking point. There's been some exceptions, right? They addressed quarterback. They didn't draft a quarterback, but they did add a quarterback to the room. Their quarterback competition is probably going to be more of a long-term scope as compared to an immediately happening in 2026 perspective. But he said they were going to get themselves in a healthy cap situation. They're going to have $100+ million in cap space in 2027. They said, we're going to build the infrastructure of the team. We're going to build through the draft. They moved on from some older players, maximized their draft picks. They had the second highest volume of draft picks they've ever had in the 7-round draft class in franchise history. He talked about if we're going to spend in free agency, we're going to spend on splashes, right? And we're going to spend on guys that we think could be difference makers in free agency. That's Malik Willis. We're not going to spend to act busy. He's told us that they are not going to be focused on a bunch of splash signings once the Bradley Chubb money hits. But he has told us there's a number of building blocks and cornerstone players on the roster that the team is making a priority. And De'Von Achane in particular, he told us before the draft, is not available for trade. And it's a priority for the team to work out a contract extension with him. It's done. They did it. So Jordan Schultz was the first to report this last night. And his reporting had this as a 4-year contract valued at $68 million in total value. That turns out to be the max value of the contract. And we saw that very quickly from ESPN and NFL Network. I know Marcel Louis-Jacques had a great report on it with the team source that the base value of this contract is $64 million across 4 seasons, which is an average of $16 million per season. Then you have the $4 million in incentives stacked on top of that to add the additional $1 million in potential earnings on an annual basis. Whether you measure it at 17 or 16, it is the third highest annual average salary for an NFL running back in the active NFL. Here's one thing to know, because this is an extension. This does not include the 2026 season. So De'Von was due $5.767 million in cash this year. A large portion of that, over $4.5 million of that, he has already received. And when he received that lump sum, that was kind of the first clue of like all this trade speculation. And are they really going to hang on to him, or are they going to trade him? When the Dolphins paid cash up front for salary cap compliance in the spring, that was kind of the first clue that we may be seeing this come into place. Because this is not a team that's in the business right now of paying cash for players to leave. They have enough debt from past cash that they've paid players that they either told last year or this year to leave. And sure enough, here's De'Von Achane. So you have to stack this almost $6 million on top of the 4-year for 64 base value that De'Von Achane is getting now. So it's 5 years. In reality, it's 5 years, $69.767 million is his total commitment to the Miami Dolphins. And this year, obviously, that some of that money's already been paid out, so it's beyond being guaranteed. It's done. And then he has $32 million in total guarantees otherwise with this new influx in this new contract that he has signed with the Dolphins. So the Dolphins keep their splashiest, most explosive, needle-moving player on the roster is locked in, along with an offensive line that has some investment pieces and a quarterback with a totally different skill set that you're hoping you could set the identity of your offense to, and a tight end room that I think has a chance to be impactful if Greg Dulcich is able to stay healthy and if Will Kazmarek is as good of a player as a blocker as they seem to think that he is coming into the league. You've got a compelling core, right? Your perimeter play is going to be a question. But Achane is going to get a chance to see this through throughout this transitional year in 26. And then hopefully the team will be robust around him, and him and Malik Willis can take advantage of whatever opportunities they are afforded this year and beyond. But he has long-term security. He is one of the highest paid running backs in football. He is one of the highest guaranteed totals of running backs in football.
The NBA playoffs are here, and every possession matters. If you're looking to get even closer to the action, FanDuel has a great offer to get you started. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right, turn $5 into $150 in bonus bets just for getting started. I like using FanDuel during the playoffs because everything I need is right there in one place. You can check stats, trends, and matchups before making your picks, which makes the whole experience feel a lot more informed. It's a really easy app to navigate, and it makes playoff basketball even more engaging from start to finish. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel, play your game.
The Chiefs caught a break, and they are staying home in the USA, and that's good for their 2026 season.
From the land of the free and the home of the Chiefs, this is the Locked On Chiefs podcast.
You are Locked On Chiefs, your daily Kansas City Chiefs podcast.
We got what is the full slate, as I understand, of what the league is going to do, and it looks like this. Melbourne week 1 is, we knew the Rams and Niners, great. Rio de Janeiro, back in Brazil. Week 3, Ravens, Cowboys, love to see that. I like to see the Ravens have to do a little bit of work. Come back, weeks 4 through 6, that's like the English series. All in London. Colts, Commanders, also good for the Chiefs. Eagles, Jags, Texans, also good for general wear and tear. Then they come back. Game in France.
Jags doubling up. Sorry, I'm sitting there going,
right?
Wow. Okay.
Spending a couple of weeks there should be interesting, and I would expect that they do literally stay there. Then they come back for Paris in week 7, and it's Steelers Saints. I don't think the Steelers are going to be a factor, but hey, it can't hurt to have another AFC team working hard there. Then Madrid. We talked about this yesterday. The Bengals are going to play that Madrid game against the Falcons. More power to Joe. Good luck staying healthy. Then they come back week 10, Munich. Patriots, another contender that has to go overseas even later in the season in the AFC. I love that. Detroit Lions, week 10 in Germany. in Munich, and then Mexico City wraps it up week 11 with Vikings, and yet the Niners doing it again. So we'll talk about what the NFL likes and doesn't like, but I'm ecstatic because this international schedule has 0 Chiefs on it, and I think that's the big takeaway from today.
Yeah, and I'm very happy to see that. It's interesting. There was a lot of questions whether or not the Chiefs were going to be getting a home game internationally. And if they did that, I think they only have 8 home games this season. So they would actually be down to 7 actual home games at Arrowhead, which I'm sure a lot of people would not be excited about. So that's something to consider, and I'm happy about that part of it. But you look at how this is going to play out. They don't have to travel. They don't go overseas. They get basically a week off or a year off of that kind of thing. And to me, that's a win. I know that there is, as Matt said on our show yesterday, I know that there are people in the Chiefs organization that aren't happy with it. But you know what? I'm happy with it. And I would bet that the football players and the coaches are probably happy with it as well.
Yeah, I have to think so. We will get to that part as well. But not having to do that, I still believe Brazil screwed them up, set them off on a path that made not only Xavier Worthy's, who I think was probably the most directly impacted player on that because of that injury on play number 3 of the season. But I think it set a tone for the entire team for the entire year. So knowing that, you know what, you might have to play on Thursday here and there. You're going to have to play some Monday nights, some Sunday nights, but you don't have to get on that 10-hour flight from Kansas City to London or even longer to Munich, or God forbid going down to South America. So I think that allows the team to relax a little bit as well.
Yeah, and it's exciting because I think that the Chiefs are going to continue to try to push to play more overseas games, and I absolutely hate it. I don't think it's good for the organization. Well, let me rephrase. It's good for the organization. It's good for the fan base. I don't think it's good for specifically the team in general and winning that season. They've shown that they have the ability to do it. That's great, and I'm okay with that. But at the same time, it's one of those things where, yeah, and like I said, if they would have had a home game overseas, they would have played even less. I mean, they would have had 7 games at Arrowhead versus 8, which it's still not a great home stretch or home slate of games, but it is what it is. When you're sitting there with the Jets and the Cardinals and the Raiders as 3 of the 5 teams or 3 of the 8 teams are already playing.
But as I go back and forth between these two graphics, and folks, if you're on the audio, make sure you come back and check out the video. Take a look at those home games. Who's playing in those? San Francisco, Colts, Patriots.
Yep.
You look at this. Patriots, Colts, San Francisco twice, depending on when they do this. If the Chiefs face the San Francisco 49ers after week 12, they will have a team that is, I think, depleted. We know how hard it was for them to go to Brazil. Now they're starting in Australia, and they have to come back and go back to Mexico City, which, okay, it's closer to San Francisco than it is to Kansas City, but still, it's another out-of-country, a rigmarole, the whole headache of going internationally. Well, and I still think it's an advantage.
And it's not even that. I mean, yeah, it may be closer than Kansas City, but you can't tell me that the ability to get to stadiums, the ability to sleep in a normal hotel situation, and all of the normal travel stuff that you're used to, because the NFL has it figured out with the stadiums and where teams are going to stay and how they're going to get to the stadium and when they're going to get to the stadium and all the travel stuff. Remember, for those of you that have been listening for a while, Matt talked about this last season, going to Brazil and the nightmare of trying to figure out how you're going to get there, because some of these players will go get the first bus to go to the stadium, and that wasn't an option in Brazil. And I'm not trying to make excuses for why they lost. There's a whole bunch of different things as to that, but it does change your preparation and how you get ready for things. And when you're talking about NFL players, you're talking about guys that are creatures of habit. Yeah. Like, that's just part of things. That's how they do things. They get it set up for the season, and this is how they are normally used to doing it. And going international and having to deal with a whole bunch of different things, is completely different. And that's another reason why you start looking at, going to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl week is completely different than everything else too. And that's a whole nother ball game of dealing with the stuff that you're not used to dealing with. But at least you're in the United States where they have things mapped out. You know where people are staying. You know how that's going to work out. So it works to your advantage in that regard. But I'm happy they're not traveling internationally this year. But I guarantee you they'll be traveling internationally in 2027. That's just going to be how it's going to be.
If you've ever opened a bank account and thought, where did all my money go? You're not alone. Keeping track of subscriptions, spending, and bills can get overwhelming fast. That's where Rocket Money comes in, helping you take control of your finances all in one place. How does Rocket Money help you keep track of your finances? It tracks all of your subscriptions in one spot and can help cancel the ones you don't need with just a few taps. It automatically categorizes your spending so you can actually see where your money is going. And you can set budgets, get alerts, and stay on top of upcoming bills. It just makes everything feel more organized and gives you a clearer picture of your finances day to day. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/lockedon. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon.
The Detroit Lions will play the Patriots in Munich, Germany this year. A lot of fans are kind of upset about it.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast.
It's been made official that the Lions will be playing the New England Patriots, the AFC champion New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel. And the New England Patriots will be the Lions' opponent in Week 10 when Detroit heads overseas to Munich, Germany on Sunday, November 15th for a 9:30 start time in the morning, 3:30 Munich time. All right, so the Lions know who their opponent is going to be over in Germany. I did not expect this. I did not expect you, the Lions fans, to be as upset as you are in regards to this. Now, I'm not saying that I've been bombarded with fans that are angry, but anything else, but I've been looking at social media. I have heard from a couple of you, including on our Locked On Lions Everydayer Club Discord chat, where a lot of fans are ticked off. Now, number one, there's two facets to this. First is many Lions fans are upset because, especially season ticket members, that they thought they were getting 9 home games when they paid for their tickets for this season. You're only getting 8 because one of those home games is going to be that Germany game in Week 10. That's number one. And I get that. All right. Some fans think they were duped. We have been telling you on this program each and every day, which we bring you Locked On Lions, that there was going to be a good chance that the Lions were going to be playing overseas this year. And with Amon-Ra St. Brown having German roots, his mother being from Germany, and we knew that there was going to be a Munich game this year. Played there, that you kind of knew the Lions were going to be playing there. So for the fans that think they were duped, I thought I was paying for 9 home games, blah, 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 whatever. I understand. I feel your pain, all right? Getting tickets and securing your tickets is costly. It's a lot of money. It's expensive in this day and age to go to a Lions game. That's number one. Number two, there are a lot of Patriots fans that live here. There are a lot of Patriots fans that are in Cleveland. There's a lot of Patriots fans in St. Louis. There's a lot of Patriots fans in Pittsburgh. For a long time, the Bill Belichick and Tom Brady-led Pats won and won a lot. There's a lot of winning that went on. Multiple championships there in New England. And fans, let's be honest, love a winner. And for those that were fringe Lions fans or had a B team or just didn't like the Lions and decided, I'm going to become, a Patriots fan because you love Tom Brady, you love Belichick. New England's a popular national brand. And because they reside in the AFC, you don't see them a lot of times in your crib, in your building, in your dome. The last time the Patriots played here in Detroit was September of 2018. So it's been nearly 8 years. It's been over 8 years since the Patriots have come to Ford Field. And one of the home games that you were hoping for, probably for many fans, was the opportunity to see a team that you don't necessarily see here a lot in New England. And now instead, the Patriots will be playing the Lions in Munich, meaning, let me find this, that the remainder of your home games, so now you'll have your choice. Obviously, you'll see the Bears, Packers, Vikings, Saints, Giants, Jets, Bucks, and Titans at Ford Field. The sexiest game, besides Green Bay, which, oh, by the way, the Packers will not be playing the Lions on Thanksgiving because the Packers are going to be playing a Thanksgiving Eve game the night before Thanksgiving. That's Eve on Netflix. But the Packer game's always fun. Bears game's always fun. But the rest of this home schedule now, Saints, Giants, we saw last year, Jets, Tampa Bay, who seems to come to Ford Field every freaking year, and Tennessee is not exactly a real delicious home slate. I know, and I saw this. A lot of Lion fans are pissed because you're not going to get the Patriots in here now for at least what? Now, some of it too depends on schedule and what place you finish in. The reason the Lions are playing Tennessee at home is because based on the Lions being a fourth place team this year, the Titans being a fourth place team this past year, the Lions are playing Tennessee. And with all sorts of different formulas and stuff, it works out that way. But to not get the Patriots, a very popular brand, and I know it's not Brady and Belichick anymore, but to not get the Patriots at Ford Field sucks. And I understand the fans' unhappiness about it. I do, because they're a draw. My God, they won the AFC last year. They've got Drake May. The Vrabel story and everything that's going on this offseason and all the Diana Rossini stuff makes it intriguing. And to not get a chance to get the Patriots here. And look, the game in Munich will be great. All right. It'll be entertaining. Two really good teams. Pats won the AFC last year, won the AFC East, all that stuff. Lions, we think, are going to have a comeback season this year and be a contender. And now you're not going to get New England to come to the Dome at Ford Field and play the Lions. And I understand why the fans are upset about it. I do. Because the rest of that home slate is kind of booty, to be honest with you. I mean, so you said, oh, man, I can't wait for that Saints game. Or, the Jets and Giants. Tampa Bay, who's been to Ford Field now, it seems like 4 years in a row. Tennessee, ooh, wow, I can't wait. Cam Ward's fun. I mean, that'll be interesting. But it's not exactly. And look, most Lions fans now are going to see the Lions. You're going to see your team play and hopefully win. But I agree with the fans that are kind of upset that the league has made this the Munich game. And the Patriots are not going to come here. You're not going to get New England in here based on rotation. Who knows how many years you're going to get the Patriots back at Ford Field because, again, this is considered a Lions home game. So, we know this right off the bat. Week 2 in Buffalo. So that's one of the AFC East teams you're playing. And then week 10, New England in Munich. So Lions are going to play the Jets at home. They're going to play the Dolphins on the road with the rotation with AFC East. So I guess maybe there's a chance in 3 years, or 4 years, you would see the Patriots here, but I get it. There are plenty of Patriot fans still going back to the Brady and Belichick era, and to not have them at Ford Field is understandably upsetting. But the league doesn't care. The league is going to continue to add these games overseas, these world games. The NFL is king. They can do what they want. And for Lions fans that were really hoping to see New England, kind of just a different team that hasn't been here since 2018, I can see why you're upset about it. 100%. So I feel some of the fans' pain on this, but again, the schedule's a schedule. As of right now, as far as other leaks go, it's been pretty quiet. We know we're not getting Green Bay on Thanksgiving. Lions Pats week 10, Lions at Bills week 2, and I said it yesterday. And we had Nick Shook on the show yesterday from Around the NFL at NFL.com. Please check that out if you did not watch on YouTube or listen wherever you get your podcast. Nick was great. But those are the only leaks that we see as of right now. Figure more games would be out and leaked by now, but tomorrow they'll start pouring in. We will have a schedule release show tomorrow night. So Locked On Lions, which normally comes out late in the afternoon or 6 o'clock at night, we'll have the show for you around 9 o'clock tomorrow night as the entire schedule is released. I mentioned the home games. Road games are Bears, Packers, Vikings, Falcons, Bills, Cardinals, Dolphins, and Panthers. I'm telling you, there is no reason why the Lions should not have a monster year this year based on the talent that's here. We're going to talk about Jared Goff in a second, and also the fourth place schedule and some of the opponents that Detroit is playing here in 2026.